Good morning. Continuing on with Emerson's Nature, 1836. Fundamental writing for the ecological movement, for people interested in environment or even beauty. Okay, this should be the last section on language, chapter 4. Let me see, go back to make sure. Yep, 4, language. And then the next chapter will be called discipline. Okay, here we go. This relation between the mind and matter is not fancied by some poet, but stands in the will of God, and so is free to be known by all men. It appears to men, or it does not appear. When in fortunate hours we ponder this miracle, the wise man doubts if at all other times he is not blind and deaf. Can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? For the universe becomes transparent, and the light of higher laws than its own shines through it. It is a standing problem which has exercised the wonder and the study of every fine genius since the world began, from the era of the Egyptians and the Brahmins to that of Pythagoras and of Plato, of Bacon, of Leibniz, of Swedenborg. There sits the Sphinx at the roadside, and from age to age, as each prophet comes by, he tries his fortune at reading her riddle. There seems to be a necessity in spirit to manifest itself in material forms, and day and night, river and storm, beast and bird, acid and alkali, pre-exist in necessary ideas in the mind of God, and are what they are by virtue of preceding affections to the world of spirit. A fact is the end or last issue of spirit. The visible creation is a terminus, or the circumference of the invisible world. Material objects, said a French philosopher, are necessarily kinds of scoriae of the substantial thoughts of the Creator, which must always preserve an exact relation in their first origin. In other words, visible nature must have a spiritual and a moral side. The doctrine is abstruse, and though the images of garment, scoriae, mirror, etc., may stimulate the fancy, we must summon the aid of subtler and more vital expositors to make it plain. Every scripture is to be interpreted by the same spirit that gave it forth. It is a fundamental law of criticism, a life in harmony with nature, the love of truth and virtue, the purge of the eyes to understand her text. By degrees we may come to know the primitive sense of the permanent objects of nature, so that the world shall be to us an open book. And every form significant of its hidden life and final cause. A new interest surprises us, whilst, under the view now suggested, we contemplate the fearful extent and multitude of objects, since every object rightly seen unlocks a new faculty of the soul. That which was unconscious truth becomes, when interpreted and defined in an object, a part of the domain of knowledge, a new weapon in the magazine of power. There we go. So we're really in some Berkeley territory with material world being a result of idea, right? Capital idea. So interesting. It's amazing. Like Thoreau took this in a much more materialist direction, and I think that's the direction more people take it today. But very interesting nonetheless. Have a great day.